After excruciating pains of dying over and over again to a resurrecting pointy hat ring wraith, hours, no days spent trying to kill him, and about the fucking time feeling when I finally did it. I pushed forward, although exhausted like after a hard leg day in a gym. I limped to what I immediately thought it would be my next least favorite zone. The catacombs of Karthus. The start couldn't be better. I got splatted like a fly with a giant ball of bones. Then these fucking archers couldn't stop attacking. I went back up to loot the ember here and continued down the stairs. I had to wait for the ball of death to return and went in to what I knew it was going to test my nerves, which were on the verge of insanity. Since this game rewards you handsomely for fighting in tight spaces, each swing of the sword has to be calculated so that you don't hit the wall while attacking enemies. Lovely. Just what I need. Not like I'm already fucked by every single enemy in this game. It is a good start, promising one to say the least. I went back to the same place, picked up my souls and a little bit of dignity I have left in me. I continued further with a lightness in my step, similar to one you would have dragging a cannonball strapped to your feet. I knew it was too late to return if I was going to relink the flame. Like, that's going to change something. I would still be getting my ass handed to me by some random shit like those spirits coming at me or arrows shooting traps. Dying to a sword is the least of my worries in this game. It's a part of the game, but dying to everything else, well, that's not your run-in-the-mill gaming encounter. What do I mean by this? Well, take a look at this fight. If you don't understand the phrase "the shit hit the fan," it will be clear after watching this fight. Not only he is aggressive as fuck, so you have to avoid his attacks, but you also have to be careful when attacking not to hit the wall, cause it fucks your attacks up. And on top of that, as I was running a marathon around the area, I forgot where the fucking traps are. Luckily, after a couple of near-death experiences and many broken urns, I managed to best him. Not to mention that it was just one of those trash mobs. Lovely. I was preparing myself to jump across this gap because I saw this shiny thing on the other side, even though I didn't have Aragorn to toss me. I failed miserably, and I found myself disqualified from the competition, quite literally falling into a rat's race. The irony is as thick as Hobbit's second breakfast.
What about second breakfast?
So I just picked up an ember here and was faced with a dead end. That meant I would have to deal with the rodents behind my back. Now usually rats and small creatures in the other games are not a big a deal, but this is Dark Souls, where even the least dangerous creatures should be treated with respect. Luckily my swords were sharp enough to cut them in one swing each. I continued further and deeper into the catacombs and couldn't help then realize that I'm getting better. I'm not dying that much, or at least I'm not showing you my deaths. All jokes aside, I did a good job of clearing my path to the next boss. I was mostly fighting skeletons and they posed no threat, or was I that good? So far, I have managed to go with 0 fucking deaths. Well, we are going to ignore this. It did seem like I made a wrong turn and the skeletons overwhelmed me, so I couldn't do much other than just die. So yeah, I managed to jinx myself thinking I was getting better. It's like the universe decided to play a little prank, reminding me that no matter how confident I felt, the game always has a way of putting me right back in my place. It's a humbling experience, to say the least, akin to being served with a slice of humble pie with a side of defeat. I managed to cross the dreaded bridge and open the door to enter to the chamber of my next boss. The skull part was one of my favorite transitions to the boss fight in this game so far. Touching the skull kinda opened a new dimension in which High Lord Wolnir awaited. Although I was expecting a boss, when he appeared, he scared me a little bit. I know, I'm a pussy, but fuck you, you know what I mean. I expected him to show, but I just didn't know at exactly what point. Not like I've pissed my pants. Or maybe I have. If you like the content so far, hit a thumbs up and share the video and subscribe to my channel because I'm about to drop some valuable knowledge. We're gonna ignore the fact that at the time I had no fucking clue what killed me. You are not supposed to go close to him because that fog you see, it's deadly and you should avoid it. You shouldn't even get that close to him because he kinda sucks you back into the abyss. So how do you fight him? Well, first you have to get back to him. And since I haven't found a shortcut yet, I wanted to do that first because I'm not gonna go through all that shit every time I die. Although this might look like a suicide attempt, there is a deeper philosophy behind this move. I'm lying. At the time, I wanted to see if I would survive the fall, even though it was pretty obvious. But I did learn one thing. While I was falling, I saw this ledge to the right side. This could lead me to a less painful descent. So I put my theory on a test, and lo and behold, I shortened my way to the boss for quite some time. I then searched for another way, because there's a gate here and there has to be a way to open it and get to the bonfire behind it. So I went carefully through the hallway with the traps, with classic activate every trap maneuver. Remember, the only real mistake is the one you don't make at least 5 times. I then turned left and then again right down to the end of the corridor, through the door, to the right, right again, through the hallway, only to get squished like a bug. Eventually I reached the boss again and noticed those shiny shackles here and here. In games like this, nothing is shiny without a reason, so that meant only one thing: go for the shackles and see what happens. Oh come on, I swear to God, just bear with me. I know it's frustrating, but eventually I start hitting it. And try not to get bitch slapped like I did many times. I managed to get him quite low on this try, but I was too greedy when I saw his health this low, so I got caught in the deadly fog. It's hard to escape once he starts his cloud attack because he keeps his hand very close to him. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. Apparently, I'm a slow learner, so I'm going to have to try one more time. But before I went for another try on the boss, I wanted to check if I can reach the bonfire I missed. So the first time I went straight, but there was another path to the left, so I decided to check it out. And sure enough, the bonfire was here. I'd like to show you this beautiful backstab. I cut out the part where he and his friends kicked the living shit out of me. And from here you can go back, and to the right side, at the end of the hall, there's another large titanite shard. From there, you can go right through the passage and then you drop down to the rats. And right before you go to that hanging bridge, you can pull this lever here to open another shortcut, which will then make a straight path from the place you drop down to the rats. Now that I have the fastest route to the boss, I can continue fighting him. And the tactic remains the same: attack the shackles and avoid the fog. Once you destroy the shackles, you take out the huge chunk of his health. Oh, everything seemed to be working just perfectly. I was always just one tiny bit away from killing him. Every single time I got close to finishing him off, guess what? I got killed instead. It's almost like there is a missing piece of the puzzle, especially since his health was always almost the same. Well, not really counting those 2 tries where I absolutely made a mistake. Clearly the game is just determined to keep me on the edge of my seat, or drive me absolutely nuts. Now this only meant one thing: I should try changing the tactic once more. I noticed that his right hand is not moving as much as his left one, and it only does something when he pulls out the sword. So I decided to attack his right hand first and see what happens. Although what I was doing was probably not the smartest idea, and I probably shouldn't have stayed this long, but attacking a bit longer played out well for me. Do not try this at home. I wanted to get the shackle in the first try, but I had to move back to avoid his attack and try once more. The shackle broke and it was time to attack his second hand. After a couple of good swings and dodging his attacks, I felt like I was in the groove, and this felt like it could be it. I broke the second shackle, and with a small amount of health left on him, it was time for a finishing blow. I was hoping to take him out before he called his skeleton friends, because that would make my life much easier. It didn't matter though, I went straight for the shackle, didn't want to waste more time and allow him to kill me. And sure enough, the shackle broke and I killed my next boss. It was an interesting fight, and although it seems easy, there's a lot of figuring the shit out here. I'm just glad I can continue my journey and get the fuck out of these catacombs. That would be all for me for this video. Thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in the next week for even more thrilling adventures. If you enjoyed the ride or found any nuggets of wisdom in this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and smash that notification bell to stay updated on the latest gameplay, review and gaming news. Until next time, may your gaming sessions be epic and victories plentiful.